Racist cops falsely accuse black woman of killing husband. The Atlanta sunrise spills through cracked blinds, painting Nia Carter's modest kitchen in soft gold. At 38, she moves with quiet precision, brewing coffee, the aroma mingling with the faint hum of a sleeping neighborhood. Her hands tremble slightly, a residue of unease. Lately, neighbors' stares have turned cold, their whispers sharp at the hospital where she's a nurse. Upstairs, her son Malik, 14, dreams unaware of the gathering storm. Last night's anonymous call. "You can't hide forever" echoes in her mind, a splinter she can't dislodge. She scrolls her phone, seeking distraction, when a news alert stops her cold. Local nurse suspected in husband's death. Her breath catches the words blurring. James, her gentle husband, gone a year ago. Poison impossible. The front door crashes open, splintering the morning's calm. Sergeant Daniels, 45, storms in his broad frame, filling the doorway, flanked by 2 officers. His eyes, once warm with gratitude when Nia saved his life in the ER, now glint with accusation. "Nia Carter, we have a warrant. You're under arrest for the murder of James Carter." He thrusts papers forward, his voice clipped. The coffee cup slips from her fingers, shattering on the linoleum, brown liquid pooling like blood. Malik's footsteps thud upstairs, roused by the noise. Nia's heart pounds. She's a healer, not a killer. But the world is tilting and the shadows are closing in. 2 years ago, Nia's steady hands stitched Sergeant Daniels' gunshot wound in the ER, her focus unwavering under flickering lights. His grateful eyes met hers, a fleeting bond forged in crisis. Now as he cuffs her in her own kitchen, those eyes are stone cold, ignoring their shared history. Nia's mind reels, pulling her back to her roots. Raised in Atlanta's tight-knit Vine City, she became a nurse to mend her community's wounds, her mother's pride fueling her. She met James, a teacher whose warm laugh softened life's edges. They built a life for Malik, their son, until James's sudden death a year ago, chest pain collapse and inconclusive autopsy. The grief carved Nia hollow, but Malik's resilience kept her standing. Now Daniels claims new evidence points to poisonous words laced with contempt. Nia senses a setup, the pieces misaligned. James's favorite saying whispers in her mind, "Truth is our shield." She glances at the stairs where Malik hovers, eyes wide with fear. Her heart aches. He's already lost his father. She won't let lies steal his mother, too. The conflict gnaws. She craves peace, a quiet life, tending patience, but silence would betray James's memory and Malik's future. Daniel's betrayal stings, but Nia's resolve hardens. She squares her shoulders, voice low but firm. "I won't let you rewrite my life. For her son, her love, her truth she'll fight." The cuffs click cold against her wrists, but her spirit burns, unyielding, ready to face the storm. The Atlanta courthouse looms, its gray stone facade as unyielding as the eyes tracking Nia Carter. She adjusts her navy blazer, borrowed from her friend Lila, who grips her hand under the table. The arraignment room hums with tension. Reporters scribble, spectators whisper their gazes, prickling Nia's skin. At 38, she's faced blood-soaked ER nights, but this scrutiny feels like a scalpel. Her lawyer, Ms. Elena Torres, 50, sharp-eyed and silver-haired, leans in. "Stay calm, Nia. We've got this." Nia nods, but her pulse races. Malik's at Lila's safe, but shaken his last words. "Don't let them win, Mom," echoing in her chest. Across the room, Sergeant Daniels stands, his police uniform crisp badge glinting like a taunt. 2 years ago, Nia saved his life, her hands steady as she staunched his bleeding. Now, he's her accuser, his testimony painting her as a cold-blooded poisoner. The prosecutor, a wiry man named Hargrove, lays out the case. New toxicology reports show arsenic in James Carter's system, linked to Nia Carter's access as a nurse. The words land like blows, each one twisting the truth. Nia clenches her fist under the table, a quiet rebellion against the lies. The judge, a stern woman with wire-rimmed glasses, sets bail at $100,000, an impossible sum. Torres objects, citing Nia's clean record, but the gavel falls final. Outside, the courthouse steps swarm with cameras. Daniels lingers by the exit, his smirk barely hidden as he speaks to a reporter. Nia Carter's a dangerous manipulator. The evidence is ironclad. His words, laced with subtle venom, ignite a frenzy. Microphones thrust toward Nia, questions sharp as darts. "Did you kill your husband? Why'd you do it?" Nia's throat tightens, but Torres guides her forward, a shield against the chaos. The crowd parts. And for a moment, Nia locks eyes with Daniels. His stare is heavy, a predator sizing up prey. She remembers his gratitude in the ER, the way he'd whispered, "You're an angel." Now that memory sours, tainted by betrayal. Lila drives Nia home, the radio blaring Daniel's leaked comments. He's playing dirty. Lila mutters, her knuckles white on the wheel. Nia stares out the window, Atlanta's skyline blurring past. Her savings can't cover bail. She'll stay in custody unless Torres works a miracle. At a red light, Lila squeezes her arm. You're not alone, Nia. We'll fight this. Nia forces a smile, but doubt gnaws. She's a nurse, not a warrior, yet here she is, thrust into a battle she didn't choose. Back at the precinct, Nia's led to a holding cell. The steel door clangs shut, the sound reverberating like a tomb ceiling. She sits on the cot, the fluorescent light harsh above. Torres visits her briefcase stuffed with files. The toxicology report's fishy, she says, voice low. The lab's linked to Daniels' precinct. I'm digging deeper. Nia nods, clinging to the lifeline. But as Torres leaves, Daniels appears at the cell door, his shadow falling across her. Stay quiet, Nia, he hisses, his voice a blade, or Malik pays the price. The threat lands like ice in her veins. Malik, her son, her heart still reeling from his father's death. She thinks of his soft smile, the way he'd curl up with James's old books. Alone, Nia presses her palms to her eyes, fighting tears. The power imbalance is stark. Her small team Torres Lila, her own grit against Daniels' police machine with its resources, connections, and media sway. The cell's walls seem to close, in each crack a reminder of her fragility, yet James's voice echoes. Truth is our shield. She traces the words in her mind, anchoring herself. She's seen patients fight impossible odds. Now it's her turn. Her fist unclenches, fingers steadying. She whispers to Lila's imagined presence, I'm not done. The next morning, Torres secures a bail reduction and Lila scrambles to cover it, emptying her savings. Nia steps out of the precinct, the sun blinding after the cell's gloom. Lila hugs her fiercely, but the victory feels fragile. Reporters circle like vultures, shouting Daniel's narrative. Nia spots a neighbor in the crowd, Mrs. Ellis, who once brought her casseroles after James's death. Now Mrs. Ellis turns away, her lips tight. The sting of rejection burrows deep, but Nia lifts her chin. She's entered the danger zone where truth is a weapon and silence a surrender. Daniel's threat lingers a dark cloud, but Nia's resolve burns brighter. She'll face the machine for Malik, for James, for herself. The battle lines are drawn, and she's ready to fight. Nia Carter stands in her Atlanta kitchen, the cracked blinds casting jagged shadows across the linoleum. The air feels heavier now, thick with the weight of a city turning against her. At 38, she's used to long hospital shifts, but the past week has drained her in ways no double shift ever could. The media frenzy fueled by Sergeant Daniels' leaks paints her as a villain. Morning talk shows dissect her life, calling her the Black Widow nurse. Online strangers hurl venom, she killed him for money. Lock her up. Each word chips away at her, a slow erosion of the woman who once stitched wounds and soothed fears. At the hospital, her sanctuary betrayal cuts deeper. Karen, a co-worker. Nia trusted leaks her schedule to reporters, claiming it was an accident. Nia overhears nurses whispering in the break room, their eyes darting away when she enters. The hospital administrator calls voice-clipped, "Take leave, Nia." It's best for everyone. She hangs up, the silence deafening. Her scrubs, once a badge of purpose, hang untouched in her closet. She stares at them, fingers tracing the faded blue fabric, and wonders if she'll ever wear them again. Malik, her 14-year-old son, comes home from school, his backpack slung low. A purple bruise blooms on his cheek, fresh from a fight. "They called you a killer, Mom," he mutters, eyes on the floor. "Said Dad deserved better." Nia pulls him close, his skinny frame trembling against her. "We'll fix this, baby," she whispers, her voice cracking like dry earth. But Malik pulls away, retreating to his room, the slam of his door a gunshot in her heart. She thinks of James, his gentle hands teaching Malik to tie a tie, and the grief surges raw and unhealed. That night, Nia wakes to a crash. Heart pounding, she creeps downstairs, clutching a flashlight. The front door gapes open, the lock splintered. On the porch, red spray paint screams murderer across the wood, the letters glowing under flickering streetlights. Her breath hitches, the violation sinking in. She scans the dark half, expecting Daniel's smirk in the shadows. The neighbor's curtains stay still, no one comes. She grabs a bucket, scrubbing until her hands burn, but the paint clings a scarlet brand. Dawn breaks, and the word remains a beacon for passing cars to gawk. Ms. Torres calls, her voice tight. "Nia, the case files someone broke into my office. The originals proving your alibi are gone." Nia's knees buckle, and she grips the counter. Those files, hospital logs showing she was on shift when James died, were her lifeline. Torres suspects Daniels' reach, but without proof, it's another blow. "We'll rebuild the case," Torres says, but her tone wavers. Nia hangs up, staring at James's photo on the fridge, his smile wide. Malik on his shoulders. The blind shadows fall across his face like bars caging her past. Lila stops by bringing coffee and fierce hugs. "You're not alone," she says, but her eyes are tired. Her savings drained by Nia's bail. Nia forces a nod, guilt gnawing. Lila's the only one left. Neighbors like Mrs. Ellis cross the street now, their silence louder than words. At the grocery store, cashiers avoid her eyes and a woman mutters, "Shame on you," as Nia bags her milk. The isolation is a slow suffocation, each rejection tightening the noose. She thinks of Malik, his bruise, his silence, and wonders if she's failing him. That evening, Nia sits at the kitchen table, the house too quiet. Malik's at a friend's, a rare escape. She traces the table's scratches, memories of family dinners, James's laughter, Malik's chatter. Now the chairs are empty, the warmth gone, the media's lies. Karen's betrayal, the stolen files, their walls. Closing in, built by Daniels's hand. She imagines his voice that hissed threat, Malik pays the price. Fear coils, but so does anger. She's a nurse, a mother, a widow who buried her love. She won't bury her truth. Nia stands moving to the blinds. She touches the cracked slats, their sharp edges biting her fingers. Outside, the spray-painted word glares a challenge. She thinks of James's saying, "Truth is our shield," and her resolve steadies. The system wants her broken, but she's stitched worse wounds than this. She grabs a notepad listing what's left: Torres's grit, Lila's loyalty, her own fire. It's not enough, not yet, but it's a start. She whispers to James's photo, "I'm still here." The blind shadows shift like prison bars, bending, and Nia braces for the fight ahead. Rain lashes Atlanta's streets, the night sky, a bruise above Nia Carter's trembling frame. She stands in a dimly lit alley, soaked to the bone, her flashlight flickering. Hours ago, a doctored video leaked online showing her at a pharmacy counter, buying suspicious chemicals, arsenic. The headlines scream. It's a lie. The footage spliced her face, grafted onto another's body. But the internet doesn't care. The clip spreads like wildfire, racking up millions of views. Comments flood in guilty monster Nia's phone buzzes with hate texts from strangers' death threats. She shuts it off, but the venom lingers, a poison in her veins. At 38, Nia's endured grief, but this is a new kind of breaking. The hospital, her lifeline, suspends her indefinitely. The director's email cold. "We can't risk the publicity." Her scrubs, her badge, her purpose stripped away. She thinks of James. His steady voice calming her after tough shifts. Now he's gone and she's drowning. Worse, Malik. Her 14-year-old son heard the rumors at school. "Your mom's a psycho," kids taunted. He came home eyes red and left a note, "I can't take it." Then he vanished. Nia's searched for hours. His friends' houses, the park, the library, nothing. The rain mirrors her panic, each drop a tick of the clock. She combs the city, her sneakers squelching, voice hoarse from calling Malik's name. On Peachtree Street, a newsstand displays her face, the headline blaring, "Nurse's Deadly Secret." Passers-by stare, some pointing. Nia pulls her hood tighter, her chest tight with shame she doesn't deserve. She checks her phone. Lila's texted. "Any sign of him?" Nia types. "No." Her fingers shaking. Ms. Torres calls, voice urgent. "The video's a fraud, Nia. I'm tracing the IP, but the damage is done." Nia nods, though. Torres can't see and hangs up. The damage is Malik out there hurting, believing the lies. In a quiet alley near the old train tracks, Nia collapses against a brick wall, rain mingling with her tears. Her flashlight dies, plunging her into shadow. James. "I'm failing," she whispers, her voice swallowed by the storm. She sees Malik's face, his bruise from bullies, his notes scrawl. She's fought for him for truth, but the system's claws are deep. Daniel's threat echoes. Malik pays the price. Is this is doing this video, this fracture? Her hands ball into fists, nails biting her palms. She's a nurse trained to save, but she can't save her son from this. A memory surfaces, James reading to Malik, his voice warm. "Heroes don't quit, son." Nia clings to it, a lifeline. She stands, rain dripping from her chin, and forces her legs to move. She checks one last place, Malik's friend, Jamal's house a mile away. The streets blur her heart, a drum beat. At Jamal's, she knocks breathless. Jamal's mom opens the door, eyes soft. "He's here, Nia." Malik sits on their couch, head bowed safe. Nia rushes to him, kneeling, her arms enveloping his trembling frame. "I'm sorry, Mom," he sobs. I couldn't." She strokes his hair, whispering, "You're enough." Back home, Malik sleeps, exhaustion winning. Nia sits by his bed, watching his chest rise and fall. The video's fallout churns outside her neighbor's curtains. Twitch reporters camp nearby. Lila arrives, bringing soup, her presence a bomb. Torres is on it, Layla says. She's got a lead on the video's source. Nia nods, but her eyes are distant. The world sees her as a killer. Her son almost broke under the weight. She thinks of the stolen case files, Karen's betrayal, the spray-painted murderer on her door. Each blow has carved her down, leaving her raw. She moves to the kitchen, the cracked blinds now taped a feeble defense. James's photo on the fridge catches the light, his smile a quiet challenge. Nia touches it, her fingers steady despite the storm within. The fight feels impossible, the video's damage. Malik's pain, Daniel's shadow. Her savings are gone, her reputation in tatters, yet Malik's words, "I'm sorry," fuel her. She's his shield, his truth. The system wants her silenced, but she's still here, battered but unbroken. Outside, the rain slows the sky, cracking open to reveal a sliver of moon. Nia breathes deep, steeling herself. The battle's not over, but neither is she. Morning light filters through Nia Carter's taped-up blinds, the cracks now patched with determination. At 38, she sits at her Atlanta kitchen table, Malik asleep upstairs after his tearful return. The doctored video, her face falsely tied to poison, still burns online, its lies branding her a killer. But Malik's play, "Mom, don't quit," echoes in her chest, a spark in the ashes. Nia sips coffee, its bitterness grounding her. She's lost her job, her savings, her neighbor's trust, but not her fight. James's photo on the fridge watches her, his smile a quiet call to battle. Lila bursts in, eyes bright with news. Torres found something, she says, setting down her phone. Ms. Torres, Nia's lawyer, has unearthed a hospital log proving Nia was on a 12-hour shift when the video's timestamp claimed she was at the pharmacy. The log, buried in digital archives, is ironclad, signed by 2 supervisors. It debunks the whole thing, Lila says, her voice fierce. Nia's heart lifts a fragile hope. Torres on speakerphone adds, "I've sent it to a journalist I trust, Sarah Nguyen. She's ready to run it." Nia nods, her fingers tracing the table's scars. It's a start, a crack in Daniels' armor. Sarah's article hits online by noon, headlined, "Nurse's alibi confirmed in viral video scandal." It spreads fast, shared by locals tired of police overreach. A retired cop, Mr. Hayes 65, reads it and posts on social media. "I worked with Daniels. He's bent the truth before. This nurse deserves a fair shake." His post, raw and honest, goes viral, racking up thousands of likes. Nia watches the shift from Lila's laptop, strangers commenting, "She's innocent. What's the cop hiding?" The tide's turning slow but real. Nia meets Torres at a downtown cafe, the air thick with espresso and possibility. Torres slides over a USB drive. The video's IP traces to a server linked to Daniel's precinct. She says, her silver hair catching the light. It's not proof yet, but it's close. Nia grips the drive, its weight a promise. She thinks of Malik, his bruise, his fear. This fight's for him, for James' memory. "What's next?" she asks. Torres leans in. "We go public. A press conference. You speak." Nia hesitates. She's a nurse, not a speaker, but James's words. "Truth is our shield," steady her, she agrees. The press conference is set outside the courthouse, the same steps where Daniels smeared her. Nia stands at a podium, cameras flashing, her navy blazer crisp despite her trembling hands. Malik watches from the crowd, Lila at his side. Nia locks eyes with him, drawing strength. "My name is Nia Carter," she begins, voice clear. "I'm a nurse, a mother, a widow. I didn't kill my husband. This video is a lie, and I won't be silenced." She holds up the hospital log, its pages stark against the gray sky. The truth is here, and it's louder than their lies. The crowd murmurs, phones recording. Sarah Nguyen live tweets, amplifying Nia's words. Across the street, Daniels watches his face, a mask of control, but his eyes flicker. Nia meets his gaze, unflinching. "You can't bury the truth," she says the words for him. He flinches, a crack in his facade. Reporters swarm, questions flying, but Nia steps back. Torres fielding them. Malik runs to her, hugging tight. "You were awesome, Mom," he whispers. Nia smiles, her first real one in weeks, but it's bittersweet. The victory's small, the videos debunk, the public's waking, but Daniels isn't done. That night, Torres calls with bad news. Daniels' team has filed new charges claiming Nia tampered with hospital records to fake her alibi. It's a desperate move, flimsy but dangerous, designed to muddy the waters. Nia sits on her couch. Malik sketching nearby, his pencils, a soft scratch in the quiet. She thinks of the spray-painted murderer, the stolen files, Daniel's threat. He's doubling down, betting she'll break, but the tape blinds catch her eye, cracked once, now holding. She's patched herself too, stitch by stitch. Lila stays over their talk, turning to James. "He'd be proud," Lila says, squeezing Nia's hand. Nia nods, picturing his laugh, his faith in her. The public's support sparked by Hayes and Nguyen grows. Petitions circulate demanding a review of Daniel's case. Nia checks her phone, seeing messages from strangers. Keep fighting. We believe you. It's not justice, not yet, but it's fuel. She stands moving to the blinds, adjusting the tape. The moonlight slips through soft but sure. Daniel's gambit looms, but Nia's fire burns brighter. She's struck back and she's not stopping. The Atlanta courtroom hums a restless hive of whispers and darting eyes as Nia Carter sits beside Ms. Torres. At 38, she's weathered storms, James' death. Malik's pained the doctored video, but today, the air crackles with reckoning. The taped blinds of her kitchen, a symbol of her patched resolve, feel distant under the courtroom's harsh fluorescence. Malik watches from the gallery, his sketchbook clutched tight, Lila's arm around him. Nia's navy blazer has pressed her hand steady, but her heart drums. Sergeant Daniels sits across the room, his uniform crisp. His gaze a blade. She meets it, unflinching, James's words her anchor. Truth is our shield. Ms. Torres rises, her silver hair gleaming as she calls her first witness, Dr. Patel, Nia's ER supervisor. He testifies that hospital records show Nia was on a 12-hour shift logged in at 7 p.m. On the night James died, her badge scanned at every checkpoint. The logs are untampered, verified by 2 supervisors, he says, holding up signed printouts. The prosecutor, Hargrove, squirms his objection weak. Then Torres drops a bombshell. She presents a sworn affidavit from Officer Reyes, a rookie in Daniels' precinct. Reyes testifies Daniels pressured the lab to falsify the arsenic report driven by resentment. He said Nia's heroism in the ER made him look weak, Reyes says, voice low. The gallery gasps, reporters scribbling furiously. Torres presses forward. She calls Nurse Karen Nia's betrayer who leaked her schedule. Under oath, Karen crumbles, admitting Daniels coerced her with threats of job loss. He said it was for justice, she mumbles, avoiding Nia's eyes. The pieces align. Daniels' vendetta, tinged with racial bias, fueled his lies. He saw Nia, a black nurse who saved his life, as a threat to his ego, her competence, a mirror to his flaws. Torres projects emails from Daniels to the lab, each one pushing for results that fit his narrative. The judge's brow furrows, her pen pausing. Nia takes the stand, her voice calm but searing. I'm a nurse. I save lives, not take them. My husband James was my heart. I'd never hurt him. She recounts the anonymous call, the spray-painted murderer, the video's lies. Daniels tried to break me, but I'm here for my son, my truth. Her words, raw and steady, ripple through the room. A spectator records it. The clip hitting social media, captioned, Nia Carter speaks truth to power. It goes viral, shared by thousands, hashtags like Justice for Nia trending. Outside activists rally their signs, bold, end police lies. The unraveling accelerates. Another officer, Sergeant Monroe, comes forward, admitting Daniels' history of framing suspects, especially minorities. He picks targets who can't fight back, Monroe says, guilt in his eyes. The judge orders an immediate investigation into Daniels' precinct, her voice sharp. Daniels' face pales. His smirk gone, but his glare at Nia burns promising retaliation. Nia holds his stare, her strength a quiet fire. The courtroom feels alive. Justice stirring, but not yet won. Outside, the rally swells, voices chanting Nia's name. Sarah Nguyen, the journalist, live tweets the testimony, her posts amplifying the truth. Malik hugs Nia as they leave, his eyes bright. You did it, Mom, he says. She smiles, but the weight lingers. Daniels reach the system's flaws. Torres warns he'll fight dirty. Stay sharp. Nia nods, thinking of her taped blinds, her patched life. The truth is out, but the battle's not over. She touches Malik's shoulder, grounding herself. The viral clip of her testimony plays on a protester's phone, her voice a beacon. I'm not your villain. It's a symbolic act, a spark igniting change, but Daniels' shadow looms, hungry for revenge. The Atlanta courtroom falls silent as the judge's gavel strikes, her voice steady. All charges against Nia Carter are dismissed. At 38, Nia exhales. The weight of months lifting, though, not fully. Malik leaps from the gallery, his arms around her, his sketchbook pressed between them. Lila's eyes glisten, her fierce hug a lifeline. Across the room, Sergeant Daniels stands, suspended pending trial, his badge stripped, his glare hollow. The viral testimony from Nia, I'm not your villain, still echoes online, a spark that fueled this victory. But as Nia steps into the sunlight, the scars remain sharp and deep. Her savings are gone, drained by legal fees. Her reputation, though, cleared, carries bruises, neighbors. Whisper some unconvinced. The hospital offers her job back, but the break room's silence lingers in her mind. She's not ready to return. Malika, 14. Wakes from nightmares, the bully's taunts, and his father's absence haunting him. Nia carries her own ghosts. James's laugh, the spray-painted murderer, the anonymous call that started it all. She's free, but justice she learns is never clean. It's a jagged edge, cutting as it heals. Nia finds purpose in the pain. At a community center, she mentors Aisha, a young woman facing false theft charges. Aisha's wide eyes mirror Nia's own fear months ago, and Nia guides her, sharing Torres's number. Her voice steady. "You're not alone." The axe stitches her wounds, each word a thread. Malik joins a youth art program, painting a mural for James, a vibrant tree, its roots deep, its branches reaching. Nia watches him paint on his cheek and sees healing slow but real. "Dad would love it," she says, her smile soft. At home, Nia repairs the cracked blinds, replacing slats with Malik's help. Sunlight streams through unbroken glass, warming the kitchen where grief once pooled. The spray-painted murderer is gone. The porch repainted, though its shadow lingers in her dreams. She weighs exposing more corruption. Daniel's precinct still festers, but chooses her family's peace. Her fight has inspired others. Sarah Nguyen's articles, the activists' rallies, Aisha's courage. Nia's voice, once a whisper, now ripples outward, carried by those she's touched. One evening, Nia sits with Malik, his mural sketch spread across the table. "You're strong, Mom," he says, his voice cracking with pride. She touches his hand, thinking of James saying, "Truth is our shield." She's wielded it not just for herself, but for Malik, for Aisha, for strangers chanting her name. The cost was high, sleepless nights, lost trust. A community fractured, but the truth stands unshaken. Nia looks at the blinds, their new slats. A testament to her resilience, and feels a quiet strength, not loud but deep. Outside, the neighborhood hums, kids biking past, their laughter a pulse. Mrs. Ellis, the neighbor who once turned away, waves cautiously from her porch. Nia waves back, a small bridge rebuilt. She thinks of the rally, the hashtags, the hands that lifted her. Justice wasn't a gavel alone. It was Lila's savings. Malik's hug, Torres's grit. It was her refusal to break. Nia knows the system's flaws persist. Daniel's trial looms, others like him lurk, but her fight has lit a path. She chooses to walk it quietly, now her heart full, her scars a map of survival. Nia stands moving to the fridge where James's photo still smiles. She traces his face, her fingers steady. The kitchen, once a prison of shadows, is now a haven, its light her own. She's not the nurse who stitched Daniel's wound, nor the widow crushed by lies. She's Nia Carter, mother, fighter, beacon. The blinds glow sunlight, spilling like hope, and she knows her victory, though incomplete, is enough for today. Nia Carter kneels in her Atlanta backyard, her hands deep in soil, planting marigolds for James. At 38, she's no longer just the nurse who fought a false murder charge. She's a spark that's ignited change. Her case, amplified by viral testimony and Sarah Nguyen's articles, prompts a federal review of Daniels' precinct. 3 officers face charges, their files thick with tampered evidence. A community group, Justice for Vine City, forms to support wrongfully accused families, its logo a shield echoing James's saying. Nia attends their first meeting, her presence quiet but steadier story, a beacon for others. The neighborhood shifts, slow but tangible. Mrs. Ellis, the neighbor who once shunned her, stops by with a pie, her apology soft. "I was wrong, Nia." They sit on Nia's porch, the repainted wood, clean of murderer, and share coffee, rebuilding trust, sip by sip. Malik, 14, shows Mrs. Ellis his mural sketch, its tree vibrant, and she smiles, seeing James in his strokes. Nia's garden blooms marigolds and lavender, weaving color where grief once stood, their scent a quiet triumph. Walking with Malik and Lila, Nia passes kids playing tag, their laughter stitching the community back together. A local paper runs a feature on her, not as a victim, but a catalyst. Petitions for police reform gain signatures, and a law tightening evidence protocols passes, nicknamed Nia's Law. She's invited to speak but declines, choosing instead to tend her garden, its roots her anchor. Malik points to a new bud, saying, "It's like us, Mom, still growing." Nia smiles. Hope not loud but deep. At dusk, Nia stands in her yard, the skyline glowing beyond. The marigolds catch the light, their gold, mirroring her resilience, rooted and thriving. She thinks of Aisha, now free, and the family's justice for Vine City will lift. Her fight, once solitary, now lives in others, a legacy blooming like her garden. Nia Carter's voice, soft but firm, carries over the rustle of marigolds in her Atlanta backyard. Truth is heavy, but it's ours to carry. For James, for Malik, I spoke. What will you do when silence isn't enough? At 38, she stands with Malik, his hand in hers, the garden vibrant around them. The camera pans, revealing Atlanta's skyline, its lights pulsing like a heartbeat. Her journey, falsely accused, battered by lies yet unbroken, lingers a challenge etched in every frame. The marigolds sway their gold, a testament to her fight, their roots deep in soil she reclaimed. Nia's story, from the anonymous call to the courtroom's gavel, isn't just hers. It's Aisha's, freed from false charges. It's justice for Vine City, shielding others. It's Nia's law, guarding truth. Malik's mural, a tree for James, adorns the community center, its branches a call to courage. Nia walks through the garden, her steps steady, Malik's laughter a melody. The camera pulls back, the city alive, her legacy woven into its streets. She's no hero in capes, but a nurse, a mother who stood when the world pushed her down. Her words echo. Courage isn't loud. It's the quiet choice to speak. She thinks of James's shield, of Malik's resilience, of Lila's loyalty. The screen fades, but her challenge remains. Will you stand? Will you speak? The wind hums through the flowers. A quiet call to action. Nia's quote lingers profound. Truth doesn't bend. It grows like roots through the hardest ground. Share her story, comment. Subscribe to the Black Women channel. Let courage bloom.